Like, do you really want this game to support you, to provide for you, to be your rest haven, to do the things that you want this game to do for you so you can have some of the things that you desire to have? Because right now, what I see is a bunch of guys who are in like with the game. You're not in love with the game. Because when you're in love with something, you give it everything you got. You really got to search your heart. This is coaches included. Search your heart and find out, do you love this or do you like this? Because right now, you're in like with this. And the problem I have is I'm in love with this, and I can't put up with the like. What we just did today was pathetic. All the love that you received, all the love we received, oh, you getting ready to see that flip. And don't get beside yourself on social media and start responding to the foolishness because they're right. They're right.
Are you in like with this? Or are you in love with this? Says Deion Sanders. And Lawrence, I got to say, like, there's been so much commentary about Deion.
Yeah.
And how Deion is different and, oh, you know, he's changing the face of college football. But there are a lot of things that Deion says and Deion is concerned with that most coaches are concerned with now. You know, most coaches are, hey, how do I motivate my players? How do I keep my players engaged? How do I get the best out of my players? Deion's no different. So, I think some of the things we've said about him are true. A lot of the things we've said about him are true. That there aren't a lot of people in college football who bring the energy and bring the crowds and the celebrities and can recruit like Deion Sanders. Those are all true. But ultimately, a coach is trying to get the best out of his talent, the best out of his players, on the field, off the field. And it seems like Deion Sanders is searching like a lot of coaches. A lot of the rival coaches are searching too.
Yeah, and you just want to, you know, not that I'm the one to tell Deion how to motivate his players, but you want to, you know, tread lightly on that thin line. You don't want to insult these players, or, you know, you got recruits saying, man, if we have a bad game, he gonna tell me I don't love football. Hey, just play better.
Are you in like with this?
Yeah, just don't blow a lead. Coaches, adjust. Like the kid from Stanford ran 5 slant routes on one drive and ate them up. Adjust. That you could have players who like football and you could not give up a 29-point lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gotta figure it out on the field. I think Deion, you know, he's been a great motivator for the players, but that's gonna run out. You have to play. You have to scheme up. And looking at the rest of their schedule, it's gonna be dog fights every week. Some of these teams could possibly blow them out again if they don't come ready to play. I do think they could possibly squeak out 2 more wins.
Where are the wins there? You got UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, and Utah.
I would say they got a chance to get Washington State and Arizona. Utah's going to be extremely tough. Oregon State's going to be extremely tough because they rely on that. They got one of the best running backs in the game in college football, and Damian Martinez, and we know what Colorado can't do on defense. That's defend the run. Right. So, and when I say they could win those games, they got to come ready to play. When they have won games, they've been in close games. The only team they really blew out was Nebraska, and even that game started off tough for them defending the run. So they got their work cut out for them. They've already overachieved compared to last season, yes, but that's not what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to be playing in bowl season, and you got to lock in. So like he said, coaches included, because I'm looking at the coaches now. You up 29-0 on a team that you should have whooped 50-0, dog. Like, come on.
And forget about look, they're not that kind of team. So 29-0, they should win. I'm not saying you should win.
They was 13.5-point favorites.
I know. I'm not saying you should win by 50, but they don't play. They don't play like that. Yeah. They don't play like all the teams, all the games that they were supposed to. Think about the Colorado State game. They were huge favorites in that game.
Not as much as this game, though.
Yeah, they were. Weren't they like 20
Oh,
point?
no, they were 20-point favorites. They were 20-point favorites.
You got to have Shedeur with that 98-yard drive just to, put them in contention in that game. They barely win that game. They, as you said, they get by Nebraska. The game against Arizona State also He said, Deion saying the same thing after that game. We played like hot garbage.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
It took a late field goal to win that. And then Shedeur, after that game, goes to the student section and gives them the
I
Rolex.
guess he figuring like, hey, man, I just got to get it while I'm hot right now.
So I really want to see this team. I really want to see this team get into a bowl. I just think they're great for college football.
Yeah.
I love the story. I'm following them. They should have had that Stanford game.
That one hurt. That one hurts them a lot because like we just saw the schedule on the screen. If you go into the bye week 5-2, like you all right.
Got some wiggle room.
Now you in the bye week. That stings. They think they're sitting there thinking about that. Then you got to come back and go on the road to UCLA, another team that's gonna put pressure on the quarterback.
All right, now here we go. This is something. This is tough. This is tough. Now we don't do this because we love Deion. We like the rhymes. We like the rhetoric. The rhetoric is great.
Yeah.
Rhyme scheme, great. The flow's beautiful. But he has talked about the players. Are you in like with this or are you in love with this? He's talking about the coaches. This is for the coaches too. How about Deion? Is there anything that you look at Deion in these first 6-7 games and say, you got to be better too?
Yeah, 100%. You're the head coach. You got some.
Is there any area where you say, all right, because even with that 29-zip, he said after the game, hey, I just had a bad feeling at halftime. Well, if you got a bad feeling at halftime, if you feel like complacency is settling in, you got to.
I would say this. Tell your kids, remind them that they not you. They're not you,
yeah,
Deion.
That's a good point. Yeah.
You to go at cornerback. There was a reason you was allowed to have that swag like that in the 90s and do what you do. Of course, some of that's rubbed off on them, but it may have been a little bit too much. Like, you got Travis Hunter out there, right? He's going to be a top prospect. Didn't have a good game, right? But if you're going to do all that, you got to do Deion Sanders things. The kicker, when he made the winning field goal against Arizona State, Deion said, hey, do your dance on him. Do your dance,
right.
Do your dance on him. If you're going to do that, you got to be that. He's got to let these kids know, like, hey, at the end of the day, what happens on the field is what matters the most. But that's the thing. That's just, look at college football, NIL, and I ain't against that at all.
I love it.
It's just
I love it.
The social media, they have to hone in on the fact that it happens first on the field. That's what I would say. And I'm not saying he don't.
But it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen first on the field.
That's what he got to let them know.
Yeah, but he's got to get that message across so it can get bigger.
Yes.
Based on what you do on the field, because the truth is, you can get an NIL deal before you prove anything in college football. So
Shedeur is the highest paid player in college football.
I mean, he's making millions. So without going to a bowl, he's never been to a bowl at this level. So
Archie Manning ain't played it down.
Yeah. So Coach Sanders, Coach Prime, has got to. Maybe he may have to sharpen up a little bit too.
Of course he does.
Got to sharpen it up.
He gets fault in this.
Yeah.
Yes,
anyway,
sir.
We're going to wrap this in-person program. We're going to wrap it next. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.